Be careful what you rush for, because not everything that comes quickly comes from a good place. In the quiet village of Mwaka, where the red earth stretched like a blanket beneath bare feet, and the wind carried stories through the palm trees, there lived a young woman named Adaeze. Adaeze was beautiful. Not the kind of beauty that shouted for attention, but the kind that stayed in your mind long after you looked away. Her skin glowed like warm bronze under the sun. Her eyes were deep, soft, but often distant, and her smile, though gentle, carried something hidden inside it, something heavy. Because in Umuaka, beauty was not enough. Adaeze? Her mother's voice rang through her small compound one early morning. Are you still inside? Come out. Adaeze stepped out slowly, adjusting her wrapper. Yes, Mama. Her mother, Mama Ifeoma, stood with her hands on her waist, eyes sharp. At your age, you should not be walking around like a child anymore. Every day it is the same thing. No husband, no engagement, nothing. Adaeze lowered her gaze. Mama, I am trying. Trying? Her mother scoffed. Trying does not bring a husband. She pointed toward the road. Look at Ngozi, married. Amaka, 2 children. Chioma, already engaged. Then she leaned closer. And you, what are you waiting for? Adaeze said nothing, because there was nothing left to say. The truth was, she had tried. Men came, men smiled. Men spoke sweet words, but none stayed. And slowly, the whispers began. At the market, she is too proud. Maybe she has a bad spirit. No man keeps coming back. Something is wrong. At the stream, she is getting old. She will soon become a burden in her mother's house. Even the younger girls had started looking at her with quiet pity. At night, Adaeze would lie on her mat, staring into the darkness, listening to her mother's soft sighs from the other side of the room. And sometimes, she would whisper to herself, "What is wrong with me?" Days passed, then weeks, then months, and the pressure only grew stronger. Until one evening, everything changed. The sun was setting slowly, painting the sky orange and gold, when Adaeze returned from the stream with a calabash of water on her head. The village was calm. Children were running home. Women were lighting fires. Men were returning from the farms. And then she saw him, standing at the edge of the village road. A man, tall, still, watching. Adaeze slowed down. There was something about him that made the air feel different. He was handsome, unusually handsome. His skin smooth, his posture straight, his eyes fixed directly on her, not wandering, not shy, just focused. As she walked past him, he spoke. Adaeze. She froze. Slowly, she turned. How do you know my name? The man smiled. A calm, confident smile. In a village like this, it is not hard to know someone who stands out. Adaeze felt her heart beat faster. My name is Obinna, he continued. I am new here. She nodded slowly. I have not seen you before. I just arrived, he said. Then he stepped closer. Not too close, but enough. I have been looking for you. Adaeze blinked. For me? He nodded. Yes. Silence fell between them, but it was not uncomfortable. It was heavy. You should go home, Adaeze said softly, adjusting the calabash. It is getting late. Obinna smiled again. I will see you tomorrow. It was not a question. Adaeze walked away, but she could feel it. His eyes on her back, watching, waiting. That night, for the first time in a long time, Adaeze smiled before she slept. The next day, he was there. And the next day, he came again. Ubenna did not behave like the other men. He did not waste time. He did not play games. He did not disappear. Within days, he told her, "I want to marry you." Adaeze's heart nearly stopped. No hesitation, no delay, no confusion, just like that. When she told her mother, Mama Ifeoma was shocked, then happy, then quiet. "Where is he from?" she asked. Adaeze paused. "I don't know." "What is his family name?" Another pause. "I did not ask." Her expression changed slightly. What kind of man appears suddenly and asks for marriage immediately? Adaeze lowered her gaze. "Mama, isn't this what you wanted?" Silence. Her mother sighed. "I want you to be happy, not rushed into something you don't understand." But the next day, when Obinna came again and spoke respectfully and looked calm and confident, Mama Ifeoma's doubts began to fade because, in her mind, one thought was louder than the rest. At least she is finally getting married. The wedding was done quickly, too quickly. No deep questions, no long investigations, no proper background. Just joy, relief, and celebration. But on the night of the wedding, as the drums faded and the villagers returned to their homes, one old woman sat quietly at the edge of the compound, watching. Her eyes followed Obinna as he stood in the darkness, alone, still. She frowned, because under the moonlight, for just a second, his shadow did not move with him. She blinked, and it was gone. She stood up slowly and whispered to herself, "This marriage is not ordinary." But by then, it was already too late, because Adaeze had already said yes to something she did not understand. After the wedding, Obinna kept his word. They left the village, far, very far, deep into a part of the forest where the trees stood too close together and the air felt heavy, like it was watching. Their new home was strange. It was not like the houses in Umuaka. No neighbors, no voices, no laughter, just silence. "Why here?" Adaeze asked the first night. Obinna smiled gently. "So we can be alone." At the time, it sounded romantic, but slowly, that silence began to feel wrong. Days passed, and Adaeze started noticing things. Obinna was different. During the day, he was rarely around. He would disappear early in the morning and return only when the sun was almost gone. "Where do you go?" she asked one evening. "Work," he replied simply. But she never saw what kind of work. And at night, he changed. He became colder, quieter, watching her more than speaking to her. Sometimes she would wake up and find him sitting upright in the darkness, staring at her, not blinking. "Obinna," she would whisper, and then suddenly he would lie down again, as if nothing happened. Adaeze began to feel it, that quiet fear, that feeling that something was not right, but she pushed it away because she had what she always wanted: a husband, a home, a future. Then one morning, everything changed. Adaeze felt dizzy, weak, different. She sat down slowly and placed her hand on her stomach. A strange warmth moved through her body. Days later, she realized the truth. She was pregnant. For a moment, everything else disappeared. The fear, the doubt, the silence. She smiled, for real this time. "Finally," she whispered. When she told Obinna, he did not smile. He only nodded slowly. "That is good," he said. That was all. No excitement,
No joy, no questions, just acceptance. That night, Adaeze had her first dream. She was standing in the forest, alone. The trees were taller than before, darker, closing in around her. Then she heard it, a baby crying, soft at first, then louder. She looked down at her stomach. It was moving, not gently, not like a normal child. Something inside her was pushing, hard, like it was trying to come out. She screamed and then woke up. Her heart was racing, her body covered in sweat. It was just a dream, she whispered. But from the corner of the room, she heard something, a soft sound, like breathing. She turned slowly. Nothing, only darkness. The next morning, she went to fetch water at the small stream near her house. She bent down, filled the calabash, and looked inside, and froze. The water had turned thick, dark, red, blood. Adaeze dropped it instantly. The calabash hit the ground, spilling everything. She stepped back, shaking. But when she looked again, it was water, clear, normal. She stood there, breathing heavily. No, I saw it. From that day, nothing felt normal again. Things began to move. Her clothes would disappear, then reappear in places she never put them. Cooking pots shifted when she wasn't looking. Doors opened slowly on their own. At night, she heard footsteps, not inside the house, outside, walking, circling, waiting. One night, she stood in front of a small mirror. She stared at herself. Then suddenly, her reflection smiled. But she did not. Adaeze screamed and stepped back, her heart pounding. Something is wrong. That was the moment she knew. This was not just fear. This was real. That night, she could not sleep. Then she heard it again. Voices outside. She moved quietly to the door and listened. Obinna was speaking, but he was not alone. The voices that answered him were not human. She is ready. The child is growing well. She cannot leave now. Adaeze covered her mouth, her whole body shaking. Tears filled her eyes. What have I done? Suddenly, the door creaked open behind her. She turned slowly. Obinna stood there, watching her, his eyes glowing faintly in the dark. "Why are you awake?" he asked. Adaeze stepped back, her voice trembling. "Who are you?" Obinna smiled, but this time it was not human. Before she could move, a sharp pain hit her stomach. She screamed, falling to the ground. Her stomach moved violently. Something inside her was pushing outward, visible, like a hand trying to come out. Adaeze cried in terror. Then suddenly, everything stopped. Silence, heavy, dead. Obinna knelt beside her, placed his hand gently on her stomach, and whispered, "Soon." Adaeze's eyes filled with tears. That night, she ran out of the house, into the forest, barefoot, crying, "Help me!" But the forest did not answer. Then she saw them, women standing still, pregnant, silent, watching her, and behind them, their husbands, not human. One of the women stepped forward slowly, her voice dry, empty, broken. "You came too late." Adaeze screamed, and everything went black. Some doors, once opened, never close again. Adaeze did not know how long she had been unconscious. When she opened her eyes, the forest was silent. Too silent. The women were gone. The shadows were gone. Even the wind had stopped breathing. She pushed herself up slowly. Her body felt weak, heavy, wrong. Then she remembered the voices, the women, the child. Her hands rushed to her stomach. She froze. It had grown. Not slowly, not naturally. It was bigger, hard, and cold. Adaeze's breath began to shake. No, no, no. A sharp pain suddenly tore through her body. She screamed, falling to her knees. The forest echoed her cry, but no one came. Then she heard it. A voice, soft, close, from inside her. Mother. Adaeze's eyes widened in pure terror. No, no. She shook her head violently. This is not real. This is not real. But the voice came again, clearer this time. We are waiting. Adaeze let out a broken cry. She tried to stand, but her legs failed. The ground beneath her felt alive. Slowly, she looked up, and her blood ran cold. They were back. The women, standing in a circle around her, silent, still, pregnant. Their eyes empty, their faces lifeless, and behind them, their husbands, no longer pretending, tall, dark, twisted shapes, with glowing eyes that burned through the shadows. Adaeze tried to crawl backward, but there was nowhere to go. One of the women stepped forward, the same one from before, her voice dry, hollow, like something long dead. You should not have come. Adaeze shook her head violently. No, I didn't know. Please, help me. The woman tilted her head slowly. We all said the same thing. A deep, heavy silence followed. Then, the ground beneath Adaeze began to open. Cracks, spreading, like something underneath was pushing upward. Adaeze screamed. The pain in her stomach became unbearable. She looked down and saw it. Her stomach was moving violently, not like a baby, like something trying to break free. Please, she cried. The women did not move. They only watched, because they had seen this before. One of the shadow figures stepped forward. It was Obinna, but no longer human. His body stretched unnaturally, his face shifting, eyes glowing brighter than before. He stood over her, and for the first time, he spoke without hiding. You were chosen. Adaeze shook her head violently. No, no, I was tricked. He smiled. Aren't they the same thing? Tears streamed down her face. I just wanted a husband. The forest went still. Obinna leaned closer. And we wanted a mother. The pain exploded. Adaeze screamed louder than she had ever before. The ground beneath her opened wider, darkness rising from within. The women stepped back, because now it was her turn. Suddenly, everything stopped. Silence, heavy, final. Then, Adaeze's scream cut off completely. The forest closed, the ground sealed, and just like that, she was gone. Days later, in the village of Umuaka, people began to talk. Adaeze has not been seen. Her husband too. Did they travel? No one knows. Mama Ifeoma cried every night, waiting, hoping, but deep in her heart, she knew something was wrong. Years passed, but the story did not end. Because in that forest, when the night is quiet and the wind stops moving, some say you can hear it. A woman's voice, crying, begging, warning, don't come, don't answer, don't follow him. And sometimes, very softly, a child's voice calling from the darkness, Mother. And if you listen closely, you will realize something. That voice is not just crying, it is waiting. The end. Moral. Some choices are made out of pressure, but not every opportunity is a blessing. Adaeze did not listen. She rushed into what she did not understand, and in the end, she lost more than her life. And that is the end of our story for today. If this story gave you chills or taught you something, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps this channel grow and bring you more deep stories like this. Stay careful, stay wise, because not everything that comes to you is meant for you. Bye for now.
Watch out for Adaeze's revenge in part 2.